tuned. Now, peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. Underneath this evening, applicants fought employment process at River State Universal Basic Education. Civil servants in River State yet to get promotion 2 months after Governor Wike's promise. Protest by students of Captain Ilechi Madi Polytechnic enters second day. Stakeholders set agenda for incoming 10th Assembly. Supreme Court affirms election of Ademola Adeleke as Osun State Governor. On the foreign scene, Israeli airstrikes killed at least 15 Palestinians, including 3 commanders. I'm Adedayo Elushakin. Some applicants seeking employment in the River State Universal Basic Education have faulted the employment process. As you may know, the River State government gave some quarter to the State Universal Basic Education Board in the proposed recruitment of 10,000 civil servants. Our correspondent who was at the board this morning reports that scores of applicants who said they are yet to receive text messages from the board for interviews were seen at the gate, while those invited were allowed access. Some of the applicants who spoke to our correspondent said the recruitment process is not transparent. They accused members of the board of favoritism.
They should do free and fair whatsoever, like sending people messages. Some persons should know, some didn't know.
Majority of us here, we are not invited, you understand? We are not sent text message.
I went to Sabacab to have a printer. See the way it is. There is no message. I saw a kind of random sampling technique that they choose people within locality or who know. That is what I saw here. Like people that I met here, they were telling me that they were from Chamanzi, they were from this place.
Me, I just came, I didn't get any SMS message. I just came in and I heard that some places are inside that they invited them. All of us, literally all of us here were not invited.
Our correspondent gathered that invitations were sent to applicants that met the criteria. Meanwhile, Chairman of Civil Society Organization in River State, Enefa Georgeville, has called on the River State government to ensure the employment process is done electronically and not manually to avoid complaints.
For us, we have gotten wind of several complaints from citizens as regards the employment process. A lot of persons have equally accused government of nepotism and tribalism in terms of employment process in the past, especially the one we had in other institutions. So for us, we think that to avoid it unnecessary more than the kind of passion. The best way to go about it is to make the process open. And one of the ways you can do that is to make sure that IT and tech tools are used. You have where you check it, you know why you failed, you know why you passed. These details are open. So everybody who participates in the process, have this sense of assurance that he or she either made it or did not make it because of his own personal shortcomings, not necessarily because the person is being cheated in the process.
Meanwhile, about 2 months after Governor Nyesom Wike promised to promote civil servants in River State before leaving office, some of the civil servants say they are yet to receive any letters of promotion. Now, some of them said they are also yet to receive any increment in their salaries to reflect the promotion. And they spoke with our correspondent.
Without even giving the letter, they can do other work to make sure that they have reflected to salary by this month. Nobody have been paid. But I believe by this month's salary, everything will comment. Promotion letter have not been given to anybody for now.
There was no way to be visible last month because the time of the promotion, time of working out, so much and all that is not visible. So this month, it is visible this month. So you're okay.
As you may know, Governor Wike, while swearing in members of the River State Civil Service Commission in March, had charged the commission under the chairmanship of former PermSec and the Minister of Works, Clifford Ndewalter, to conclude all promotion and employment processes within a month. And moving on, ahead of the May 29th handover, some civil servants in River State are calling on the incoming administration to give priority to infrastructure and ensure a good work environment at the Secretariat complex. Some civil servants spoke to our correspondent said the level of infrastructure decay at the Secretariat is affecting the smooth delivery of service. Our correspondent visited the complex and observed that weeds have taken over many parts of the Secretariat complex.
You can see the secretariat complex dilapidated. There needs to be good working environment for the civil servants.
From the offices, you see some very old cushions to some old TVs to some old radios. The offices needs to be put to standard. This is a government infrastructure. The lifts generally were slow. We had a lot of lifts there, but why is it just one working? And it takes a lot of time for the lift to close. It takes a lot of time for the lift to open. We need maintenance service. The entire secretariat needs to be worked on.
We need the new government to look at the secretariat everywhere is bush. We need the new government to do something about it.
Some residents of Port Harcourt commended the outgoing state government for the infrastructure development in the state.
I must commend him for infrastructural development in the state. He has tried when it comes to making decisions and standing by his decisions, regardless of who he does not favor or who doesn't like it. At least that aspect, I sincerely commend him.
This very well in providing roads and making sure schools are on.
Roads and the buildings I'm seeing, schools, the law school, for instance, and so many other things he has done.
Wike is a great politician and he knows what is good for the people.
Wike don't try for road finish. Make the next governor come finish the ones the way we can never touch hand.
After all the news following recent cold-related deaths in some parts of Rivers State, critical stakeholders in the education sector have identified poor parenting and bad peer groups in schools as some of the root causes of the menace. A school administrator, Ngozi Chala, believes that negligent and busy schedules of some parents contribute to the increasing cases of cultism among secondary school students. Chala told our correspondent that parents must be cautious of the friends their children keep.
Cultism starts from the house, and our parents are not really taking good care of their children at home. They left everything for teachers, and when this child goes out, he gets the friends, his peers, and from that peers you find them, they will teach them what the parents couldn't teach them, and from there you see them getting into another character. They will be lured into things that will take them into cultism, and when they come into school, if the school does not take care of it, you find that in the school too there will be cultism. Those days our parents stay at home. Now we chase money. Mothers should come down and look into their children, give them motherly care.
Another principal, Chimaobi, said parents should be intentional about instilling godly virtues in their children.
We need to be intentional. There is need for parents to restore back their family altars from where godly virtues at that point can be inculcated into the children. Let them know the danger of cultism. And as these things are re-echoed, you discover that the children will find it difficult to identify with it.
Some HND1 students of the Captain Elijah Amadi Polytechnic Port Harcourt have continued their protest over the failure of the school management to properly address their demands. The students, who are mainly from the Public Administration Department, started their protest yesterday. This morning, they blocked the gates of the Polytechnic, demanding the attention of the school management to their demands. The protesting students told our correspondent at other levels in various departments are writing exams, but the school management asked them to wait for the return of the rector before their matter can be discussed. Yesterday, President of the Students' Union Government, Briggs Palibo, told correspondent Massa Okere the protest was because of a policy by JAM that prevents students from changing departments.
Students from Pobat HND1, they are coming from biz admin. They are transferred to Pobat HND1. Now, there is a new policy from JAM and NYS. If you are in Pobat HND1, you must be in Pobat admin and finish. If you are in biz admin, you have to finish from biz admin, or you will not be allowed to go to service. Their issue is that they have paid school fees and everything. They were not informed. But everything is not about protest. You have to go back to their protest is that they should be assured that they will have the favorable answer from the school management. I'm still relating with the school management system. They will have the favorable answer from the school management.
Meanwhile, students are claiming that the police arrested one of them during their protest this morning. A student made the claim.
There's an issue already on ground concerning public admin. They came into the school via HND level and they already had an exam. They wrote up to 6 papers already before they got the information that they should leave the school, that the school doesn't have their HND level, just like that. So the students, we are so annoyed with the information. So now they decided to protest against the school's resolution. My classmate now jumped into the school compound via the fence. The CSO picked him up. First they beat him up first, then handed him to the police.
But the SUG President, Briggs Palibo, advised the protesting students to follow due process in communicating their demands.
There is no casualty. He was not arrested. We will not stand there to allow whoever to come and arrest anybody, any student. But the one thing I'm still telling them, they should do the right thing. At least we are working with different authorities. You can't just stand up and make a protest without consulting the body you know you are working with. Your department president, at least, is one of the persons that is supposed to channel this process through to the SCG president. But none of this was met. They just come up and did their own protest without informing anybody.
The management of the institution is yet to speak on this. Moving on, as Nigerians await the inauguration of the federal and state lawmakers next month, stakeholders have started setting an agenda for the lawmakers. A political analyst with Abuja School of Social and Political Thought, Sam Amadi, while speaking with correspondent Soibu Ruwari, urged the lawmakers to formulate laws that can reduce the cost of governance. Dr. Amadi also advised the incoming legislators to make laws to reduce the increasing spate of unemployment in the country.
Focus on cutting down on cost of governance, especially their own salaries, allowances, and management cost of managing themselves, and bring leadership that understands that legislature is different from executive. You have to be independent to support the executives, to review their decision-making process, to challenge them when they act unconstitutionally, to respect elected representatives, to hold them accountable. They can't do that if they are jostling for jobs and jostling for contracts.
Also, social development expert in Rivers State, Mina Ogbanga, said she expects every incoming state legislator to focus on making laws that will address the economy of the state. Dr. Ogbanga also advised that immediately they are inaugurated, the lawmakers should look into key bills like aging and gender and social policy yet to be addressed by the outgoing 9th Assembly.
We're looking at key actions. It's very, very important. It becomes key for us to find ways for rivers people to benefit through the domestication. There are lots of bills that need to be acted upon. We have the bill on aging that needs to be looked at, and we need to have the River State aging policy. The assent is required for the Climate Change Act. We need to have the gender and social policy. We need to have the build sustainable livelihood for people and enhance living standard.
The Presidential Election Petition Court adjourned to Thursday, May 11, 2023, the continuation of the pre-hearing of the petition by the PDP and its presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, against the President-elect Bola Tinubu of the APC. In the petition, the PDP and Atiku are challenging the declaration of Tinubu as the President-elect by INEC. Now, during Tuesday's proceedings, counsel for the petitioners, Chris Uche, pointed out they have filed and served a motion requesting a live broadcast of the Presidential Tribunal proceeding. It is the major news on Nigeria Info here in Port Harcourt, and still ahead, President Muhammadu Buhari reacts to Supreme Court ruling on Osun State governorship election. Do please stay tuned. The Supreme Court has set aside the appeal by Adegboyega Oyetola challenging the election of Senator Ademola Adeleke as Osun State Governor. The court, in its judgment, read by Justice Emmanuel Agim, also upheld the appeal court's judgment which upheld the election of Adeleke as the state governor. The Apex Court held that the appellant failed to adduce enough evidence to prove his allegation of overvoting in the July 17, 2022 governorship poll. And President Muhammadu Buhari has recognized the Supreme Court's verdict, which affirmed the appeal court ruling on the election of Senator Ademola Adeleke as Governor of Osun State Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina. The President reminds the political class and their supporters of the task of making the people feel the impact of good governance. A prosperous, peaceful and stable Osun State. He urged them to see elections as the path to an end, which is the progress of the people in a peaceful environment rather than unending bickering.
And now the business news.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has urged the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to work with power companies to improve power supply in the country. Osinbajo made the call today during the commissioning of a turbine in Afam, Uyigbo local government area of Rivers State. The Vice President said the move will ensure maximum output of energy capacity in the country.
I also urge the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, the NNPC Limited, to work constructively with the power companies in order to improve stability of supply from the Okolomo gas plant and its associated fields, so we can have maximum output of the 1.5 gigawatts of energy capacity in this AFAM cluster.
Take it away with the entertainment news.
Afrobeat singer Davido has celebrated the ruling of the Supreme Court affirming his uncle Ademola Adeleke as Osun State Governor. Reacting to the verdict of the court, Davido mocked oppositions with a line from Over Them, a track in his latest album, Timeless.
And now, updates on the sports news.
Real Madrid midfielder Luka Modric has recovered sooner than expected and could face Manchester City in the first leg of their Champions League semi-final. Recall the 2018 Ballon d'Or winner was earlier ruled out of the encounter after picking up an injury a week ago.
And now, we're bringing you news from around the world.
At least 15 Palestinians, including 3 commanders of the militant group Islamic Jihad, have been killed in Israeli airstrikes in the Gaza Strip. Palestinian health officials said 8 women and children were among the dead. Another 22 people were injured. Now, Israel said it had launched an operation targeting militants who posed an imminent threat to its citizens. And that's it. On the news this evening, you heard some applicants have faulted the employment process at the Rivers State Universal Basic Education. Civil servants in Rivers State are yet to get promotion 2 months after Governor Wike's promise. And protests by students of Captain Alechi Amadi Polytechnic entered its second day today. And stakeholders have set agenda for the incoming 10th Assembly. The Supreme Court has affirmed the election of Ademola Adeleke as Osun State Governor. On the foreign scene, Israeli airstrikes have killed at least 15 Palestinians, including 3 commanders. And that was the news as edited by Onyeka Chinbosu. Rains are expected in Port Harcourt this evening. And remember, peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. Well, thanks for listening. I'm Ade Dayo, a Lushakin. Good evening.